Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give this another try. I did a one a day, and it was do this, do that. Why should I? And it cut off at a place where I didn't want it to cut off, so I'm redoing it, okay? So here's the deal. You can't ask why enough, okay? Do you ever notice that soon as a child can speak, they're asking why all the time? And do you know why? It's not just because they want answers. It's because you don't make any sense. Did you get that? It's because you don't make any sense, okay? And whether you believe that or not, you can talk to people, and if you were actually taking a look at what people actually said and what you said, you would find out you don't make much sense, because most of the population doesn't make much sense, because life down on this planet doesn't make much sense unless you're going to ask why. And you need to ask why to authority all the time. You know, they tell us, okay, that there's just not enough water to go around. That's why there's people that are actually dying because they can't get enough water to drink, or pure water, when meanwhile there's enough water. They tell us that people are starving to death because there's not enough food. Meanwhile, we throw 50% of that food away. They're telling us that there's not enough money to go around, and then we have one of the Rothschilds, one of their personal accounts has $85 trillion in it. If you're not willing to ask why, and do you ever ask yourself why your children have gone to school, and they've gone to school for 12, maybe 14 years, and they come out and they can't read, write, and they don't even know how to love themselves, and they don't even know how to look after themselves, and what do they actually learn there? Okay, understand something, and it's really important that you get this. All right, if there was a 3-year-old in the room, if there was a 30-year-old in the room, and there was a 90-year-old in the room, which one of these beings would be the smartest being? Well, that would be the 3-year-old, because the 3-year-old is still in charge of its vehicle until it gets adulterated by all the adults around it. Okay, I'm in Vancouver and I'm doing an intensive course with practitioners. And it's an intensive emotional course, okay? We're talking about going in. We're talking about giving possession of your mind and your body over to the government, the medical system, and the elite, which means, and what I'm talking about is 9,999 people have done that on this planet. 1 out of 10,000 people are actually enlightened. There was one guy I know, his name was Jesus Christ. He totally believed in unconditional love for oneself and for everyone else, okay? But until you totally love yourself and honor yourself, what about respect? Do you totally respect yourself? And I'm going to tell you something. Do you totally respect life on this planet? Because you will know if you totally respect yourself, because you'll be healthy. You'll be wealthy. You'll be happy. You'll be pain-free. And you think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. And that's the reality of this whole thing. I walked down on Granville Street right down here in Vancouver, and I'll tell you something. The drugs are so bad. I'm going to tell you that 50% of the population on this one street, okay, is possessed. You heard what I said, possessed. And I'll tell you something, you're possessed. As long as your beliefs are based on beliefs such as the medical system, I mean, if that's your health care, oh my gosh. If your beliefs are based on that if you go and vote, that your vote is actually going to be counted for, and that your government is actually going to do something for you, oh my gosh, are you like crazy? That's never happened. You know, somebody said to me the other day, hey, did you know that voting's coming up in Canada? I think it's like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I go, oh, no, I didn't know. And I said to them, well, guess what? They went, what? I said, I only voted once in my life, and that was when I was 18 years old, and I never voted again, and I only did that for my mother. And the reality is then people will go to me and go, you don't care what happens in your country? Well, let me tell you something. I think I speak up more than anyone else, and my vote does not count. Everybody says your vote counts. Well, the whole thing has all been picked anyways. It's been contaminated since day one, and everybody lies. Give me one politician that hasn't lied. I'm not, okay, first of all, if you opt into a corrupt game, you become corrupt. Now, is the government corrupt? So I'm not going to opt into it. If I opt into a corrupt conversation, which means that I don't really want to talk to the majority of the population, because I'm not going to buy into it and get in there and justify and argue and try to get my point across to somebody who doesn't own their own vehicle. Did you get what I said? Somebody who doesn't own their own vehicle. They don't own their own mind. Somebody else owns their mind. I question every thought that comes into this, mind to mind. And I'll tell you something, I'd rather hug a tree than hug most people, okay? And it's not because I don't care and love them. It's just that I'm gonna get into their field. How many times did you have somebody stand behind you and your hair stood on edge and you turned around and you felt kind of creeped out? How many times did you walk into a room and you knew you shouldn't have been in there? Okay, do you ask yourself why? Well, because you are a light energy being. And if you come into a corrupt vibration, a corrupt frequency, and you dishonor that, then you're gonna get some stuff all over you and stuff into you, and you're not gonna like it. Listen, wake up and understand that you are a light energy frequency being, okay? And the majority of the population, okay, are possessed with dysfunctional belief systems, and I don't know if they're ever gonna wake up, but why can't you honor and respect yourself and have a beautiful day and become the light for yourself? Think about that, okay? So don't do this, don't do that. Ask why? Why did I eat that? Why did I drink that? Why did I say that? Why did I act like that? Why do I put up with that? And that's just a bunch of BS. Why am I even doing that? Oh, because I need everybody's approval? And that's what happens. If I can get you feeling low enough about yourself, I can get you to do anything. I want you to become everything. Do it. You got this. 3, 2, 1. Be the light. And let me tell you something. You think it's easy? When you start to break away and you start really honoring, respecting yourself, and you have your whole family coming up against you, then we'll see if you can hold the line and you can be like Jesus Christ. There you go.